In this episode, Tesla cuts their prices by a whole lot. Chevy's new Corvette E-Ray, and then Nissan's brand new GTR. Welcome to episode 164 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rowell, how has your week been going?
It's been going all right. Got to drive a whole bunch of cars, which we'll talk about in the banter episode. But not bad. How about you?
It's been going fantastic. Got home from a nice little vacation. Went up to Georgia on a vacation. Kind of a weird place to go for a vacation. But not much car culture. Kind of odd, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably because you're so far from Atlanta where you were at.
Also, you know what I did not see a lot of? In Savannah, Georgia, is where I happen to go. No Teslas.
Good.
Barely any Teslas.
Good.
I think I can count two. Only two, which is pretty crazy.
Good.
Speaking of Teslas.
Yes. Shall we get into some Tesla news?
Let's do it.
All right. So if you just bought a Tesla, I'm very sorry.
Uh-oh.
Because your car is now worth drastically less than you just paid for it.
Depending on the model.
Even the least amount of droppage is still a lot of droppage.
Tell me more.
So Tesla and Musk and all of his Muskness decided to slash all of their prices for all of the U.S. market. And boy, oh boy, did they get to slashing.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. There is a whole bunch of slashing that happened. As a matter of fact, we're looking at a graph, and I'll quickly run you through. So going through the range here, the lowest amount of droppage was the very base Model 3, the non-performance or regular Model 3. That was almost 47, now it's 44, so $3,000. Now, the most dollar amount of droppage would have gone to the Model S Plaid, so an almost top-of-the-line car.
The fastest one?
Yep. So that went from $135,990 to now you can buy it for $114,990. That is a $21,000 cut. That is cutting a Corolla out of a Tesla Model S Plaid.
That is a lot of dough.
$20,000 is you would feel that. Like if you had one that you put 100 miles on, you were trying to sell it close to MSRP. No one's going to offer you more than $114,000 for it.
No, you can buy one new. Interesting. Tesla's in a very weird spot where they can actually do this and get away with it. Now, if you're a Ford or any, to be honest, almost any other manufacturer other than like the direct-to-consumer manufacturers, if you're the traditional OEM, you can't really cut prices like this because there's the whole commission system, there's the whole dealers buying the car at wholesale, then selling them for markup, and it doesn't really work.
Yep.
So it's cool that they can do this, and I imagine that this is related to, do you know why they made the cuts?
I don't have real reasons, but I mean, maybe there's protests in China that they're citing. There's lots of things. I don't know 100%.
Is this not trying to get to the like mark to where they can get the incentives for it?
That's for one of them.
Okay.
So I was actually about to get to that next. So the Model Y, that's the smaller SUV thing. Crossover-y, van-y thing.
It's what most people are going to buy if they buy a Tesla, either the Model 3 or the Model Y.
Yeah. So before, the Model Y was, and this is the base Model Y, was $65,990. And it actually never used to be classified as an SUV. The government classified it as a car. And because of this whole classification, as well as the price, it did not qualify for that Inflation Reduction Act, where you got $7,500 EV tax credit.
Right.
So now, to get that tax credit, it had to be, I believe, both an SUV by the government's all watchful rules, and then it also had to be under $55,000. So the Tesla Model Y base went from 65 grand and change to 52 grand and change. That's the most percentage of decrease. That went down by 20%.
That's massive.
It dropped 13 grand. So now it is both classified as an SUV and is under that $55,000 mark. So if you're shopping for an EV, you better buy a Model Y Performance because that, or not Model Y Performance, pardon me, a standard Model Y.
Wow.
Because that's the one you're going to get the most bang for your buck.
Interesting that they did that. I think that the tax incentive is $7,500, right?
It is, yeah.
So
you go from 52 grand MSRP to now $7,500 off of that. You're what, 45 grand?
Somewhere around there, getting close to that.
And that's about the price of a standard base Model 3.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not exactly how that works. They don't just take $7 grand off the top. But
correct.
Right. You're still going to get your loan for your 52 grand. But it's way better than it was. Way better than it was. And if I was looking to buy a new SUV right now, I'd be looking at that going, whoa, okay.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit incentivized to start looking at that. Although I would still never buy one, but
I don't know the story behind why it was never an SUV. I can't see that vehicle. Can you see it being a car?
Does it look like an SUV?
More than a car?
Does it?
Kind of.
To me, it's more like a wagon.
Yeah, but what would you classify that?
Not an SUV.
Not a car?
More of a van.
Well, I don't know how the tax incentives work for vans, but that's kind of interesting. From my knowledge, the government hates Tesla because it's Elon, which is really funny because they are an American-made company. They love the Chevys, the Fords, the Dodges, but they don't invite Tesla to anything.
I don't keep up with all that political EV crap because I hate EVs, but I did hear that the government and I believe Biden hosted an EV roundtable, and they invited Ford, Chevy, Dodge, and then they left out like the first American EV manufacturer, and he wasn't even invited.
The biggest one.
Yeah.
By a large margin. Yeah.
I can't blame Elon for being salty at that.
No.
I'd be like, why don't you go piss right on off? I'm just going to go outsell all your big three that's government funded.
I don't know if the Model Y SUV classification is more of that. I could be way off on that, but it kind of feels like it might be.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. The Model Y is reasonably priced. I would say that is reasonably priced.
It is reasonably priced. I would say buy a Model S Plaid though, because you get 21 grand off the top, and you can get it with a steering wheel.
And it's the fastest car on the road.
That's what I'm saying.
And acceleration.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll never buy one for the rest of my life ever, but now you can save 15 grand on your Plaid, or 21 grand, 15%, I should say.
0 to 60 in 1.9, excluding rollout.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
I got the rollout in there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Yeah. Okay. Interesting news that they can actually reduce prices. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very different.
Would piss me off if I had just bought one.
Yeah, like if you just took delivery of your, say, let's call it your base Model Y, and you just paid 65, almost 66 grand, and then taxes, tag, title, and all that, and you're 70 grand in the hole, and then you see a week later that you could have just bought that same car for $52,000.
Wouldn't be a happy customer.
I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
I would be freaking livid.
Yeah. But they are in a spot where they can do this, and they don't have the traditional OEM problems associated. So it's kind of cool.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Sure.
To a Chevy.
Okay.
It's the new Chevy Corvette E-Ray. So the electric Ray.
We talked about this many episodes ago.
When it was still kind of coming through the grapevine.
It was being talked about. Mm-hmm. Yes. Do we have our first look at it? Huh.
We have our first look, and more importantly, we have our first listen.
We do. So I'm going to play a clip real quick. And this is the E-Ray creeping along and pulling off.
Mm-hmm.
Take a listen. Huh.
Okay.
What'd you hear there?
A spaceshipy sounding thing. It sounded awful. I hate it so much.
A very electric, odd spaceship sound.
I hate it so much.
Now, we've heard a bunch of electric cars at this point, but distinctly, I remember hearing, what was it, the first Audis at Le Mans that had the hybrid drivetrain, where they'd pull out of pit road, dead silent. Not even that sound, just kind of
nothing.
Dead silent.
Yeah.
And then like kick on a motor right, straight into, going down the pit road noises, which are terrible, funny sounds.
It's just such a weird, lopey sounding thing.
It really is. This didn't sound anything like that.
No.
This sounded like an actual spaceship.
It sounded too artificial.
It really did.
It sounded to me like Chevy said, let's make it sound interesting. And then they tried too hard to make it sound interesting, and then it just sounded bad.
Tell me more about the details of this car.
All right, so let's start with the EV-ness of it.
Okay.
The EV part does come from giving it a 1.9 kilowatt-hour battery and electric motor that attaches to its 6.2-liter NA V8. So from the V8, you get 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. And then you get an extra 160 horsepower and 125 torques from the electric motor. So apparently you have a combined 655 horsepower, 595 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
Going a little further, apparently you can run EV only up to 45 miles per hour.
Okay, so this is not we put the battery pack under the car, the full skateboard module.
Correct.
And then we slap an internal combustion engine on the top. This is like we wedge a small battery somewhere.
They wedge it, let's see, I believe towards the front of it.
I think that it's in almost the gear tunnel or between the driver and the passenger.
I believe that's correct because this new E-Ray is all-wheel drive, but when it is in EV only, it's actually front-wheel drive.
Okay.
So the V8 powers the rear wheels. Then your hybrid batteryness powers the front wheels.
Okay. So they wanted to keep the internal combustion engine in this car, as you should. It's a Corvette. But they wanted to just dabble in the electric vehicle part. So they said, let's have the best of both worlds.
They should have left the flat plane crank out of the Z06 in it, but I digress.
No, you're old dinosaur man. Shush. No. Once they went to the mid-engine, they had to put, I guess from the old way, they had to put the electric motors in the front. Considering the system that they're working with at the moment.
Because that's also where the motor used to be in a Corvette.
Right. There was plenty of room up there. From my knowledge, they actually haven't taken any of the compartment space that was in the front. So the frunk is still there.
Good.
Yeah. They actually had room between the passenger and by like the passenger footwell to be able to add all the batteries and the electric motors and everything.
Shove it all in there.
They designed the C8 with enough room in there to fit electric bits in there.
Ooh, I don't like that.
From the ground up, they designed it like that.
They shouldn't have done that.
So they knew they were going electric in the beginning of this car. That's fine.
For you.
It's fine. What does this mean for Corvette in the future? That's the burning question.
I don't know. Apparently, I was reading, and there's a little statement in the article. It says, All-wheel drive is something Corvette buyers have been requesting for years. And I need to stop there. Have they really been requesting that for years? I want to take a poll of the average Corvette buyer. Do you want all-wheel drive in your Corvette? I'm going to say 8% of them say yes. 92% of them say, bugger off, this is a sports car.
Yeah, I can't see them requesting that often. I don't know. You don't think that you pull your jeans up in the morning and want all-wheel drive and put on your New Balances and grab your hat. And it doesn't feel like the customer base that wants that.
I agree. In terms of performance, apparently the hybrid E-Ray here is going to be the quickest production Corvette ever to exist yet.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got electrics with V8. Of course, It's going to be quick. Apparently, it's going to be 2.5 seconds 0 to 60. So quick, yeah. Which is only not a whole lot faster than the regular Z06 at 2.6 seconds. 0.1 second. Yeah!
You gained a tenth?
It is the fastest thing in the world at 0.1 second faster than the Z06. Wow!
I thought it'd be more than a tenth.
And then the quarter mile will do 10.5 seconds. And the standard Z06 will do 10.6 seconds.
Really? It's a tenth in the quarter mile, too? Really?
This is so stupid.
That's kind of silly.
This is so stupid.
Wow.
I hate it so much.
I thought it'd be more the performance than that.
I agree. They're touting, this is faster than the C06. This is the fastest Corvette that has ever existed. Yet, wow. You gained a tenth of a second.
Yeah, that's not a meaningful amount of time.
That's not enough to make it worth anything.
You couldn't feel that difference.
No, you can't feel that at all. And if anything, it's going to feel worse because it's going to be heavier and it's going to... I don't like this at all.
You could do the torque vectoring stuff in the front wheels.
That's
Don't know if
fine.
they will, but...
Don't like it.
Yeah, that's fine. You're an old dinosaur. It's fine.
You ready for the price?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be almost $5,000 in the coupe and $111,000 in the convertible, around about.
What's the regular?
Cheaper net.
Okay.
Now, I will say, another little bit of useful information about the E-Ray, and I'm going to steal a quote from the article here. It's the vehicle targets an 80% state of charge, but touching the Charge Plus button prioritizes maximum energy regeneration to 100% charge for extended lapping at the track. The car maintains a slightly larger buffer of power to tap for continued corner exits. Interesting. You can switch off Charge Plus for a final hero lap that will fully deplete the battery to its safety buffer.
Okay.
So it sounds like you're getting like the IndyCar push to pass sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, you're getting the F1 hybrid burn it all down and qualifying kind of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fine. They're playing the gimmicky games. That's cool.
It is the gimmicky games, but let me ask you this. And I know the prices are very different, but the Porsche GT3 RS has real nerd level of like geeky things you can change and dabble with in terms of suspension, like the damping and rebound and all that. But I envision GT3 RS buyers to actually use that stuff because a lot of them hopefully a lot of them are going to be taken on track. Is anyone actually going to use that on the E-Ray?
If you have it, I guess you use it. But I think if you're a normal Stingray owner and you don't have it, you don't have the E-Ray, you don't really care. You just like, it's fine. I'm a 10th down. Okay, that's fine. I don't need my hybrid boost mode. It's going to be okay. That thing is plenty fast without a hybrid crazy mode.
It's fine. It's so good.
We've driven it. It's bonkers fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 10th is kind of irrelevant for this car.
It is. Ready for weightage?
Okay.
Estimated weight for the convertible. Just a hair over 4,000 pounds.
That's heavy.
It's a two-door sports car. It should be 3,400 pounds,
yeah.
3,200. The coupe will weigh almost 3,900 pounds. So again, you're close to the 4,000 pound mark.
Yeah, it's a couple 100 pounds heavier than the normal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is an engineering experiment, is what this is. And it's okay to do these. I don't know about doing this and selling it. It's kind of odd.
That is the point I was actually just going to make, is sure, experiment. But don't market it as the next greatest thing that blows everything out of the water, that's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and oh my God, you have to get the E-Ray because it's faster than a Z06 by a tenth. Or
Right.
a tenth of a second. Like,
And when the ZR1 comes out, this will be slower than it. So that, like, I don't know. It's interesting.
it seems like propaganda.
It's Chevy doing marketing. It really just dabbling on their sports car. I'm shocked that it's not. Maybe the C9 will be the full skateboard, full EV thing. But man, they really just had to sprinkle a teeny bit in there.
But I feel like they're trying to hype it up so much that it's disproportional with how much hype versus how much sprinkling.
I would agree with that.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're really trying to sell the hell out of it. Like, they're overselling it. Once you've sold, stop selling. It's good. It's fine. Stop trying to make it seem like the greatest thing ever, because it's not. It's jolly exciting, sure, but no one wants an all-wheel drive Corvette.
I wouldn't say no one. There are people out there. A select few.
All 6 of them.
Yes.
6 3/4 of them. They can have this. But for the rest of America, don't know.
Do we know how many they're making?
Enough. I don't know. It's not going to be rare. Are you kidding me? The regular C8 is the most unrare car I see on the road. I see more C8s than I do Corollas in a day.
You're not wrong here. You're not wrong.
Like, I always love it when I'm in like these car spotting groups on Facebook and someone will post like just a regular C8.
Mm-hmm.
And then the entire group just flames on like, this is supposed to be an exotic car spotting group and you just posted regular ass traffic.
It's all about perspective.
You're
in
right.
Savannah, Georgia, you don't see any of those.
I bet you do. You
No.
were only there for 2 days. I bet you do.
No.
I bet you do.
No.
It was too cold for them.
Yep. You don't see them.
They do.
Here in Sarasota, Florida, you see them everywhere because the climate is normal for these kind of cars. It's perfect.
It's our population here is older.
Yes, that's fine. But here's another take on this car, right? The C8 is not a Corvette. We know that. We've known that for a long time. We've agreed on that many times.
We've discussed that at length.
Since the C8 is not a Corvette, they don't have to stick to the Corvette rules. So, why not tinker? Why not test out using the electric motors on your new sports car platform that doesn't have to hold the heritage of the old car?
That makes sense. The words you're saying out of your mouth hole make sense.
Okay.
I still don't like it.
This means the C9 is most likely ditching the internal combustion engine, which is probably the correct time to do it, to be honest. But this is the nudge to get the Corvette owner, the Corvette guy, not opposed to having an electric drivetrain.
I feel like it's going to make it worse.
There's a bigger leap from going this car, or not even this car, the C8 without all of the electric bits, straight to an electric car.
I agree.
This
I'm
is the
not
middle
disagreeing.
step.
I'm not disagreeing. But here's my take on that. I think the people that go for this are going to be so let down that then they're shunned from the electric stuff that they did all this electricness to the Corvette. They've taken out the only thing I like of the Corvette. Like, I think they're going to buy this, regret buying it, and then never buy the electric future Corvette because this is probably not that great.
I don't know yet.
I don't
be
either.
Right.
It's all speculation.
Right.
So if you are a Corvette owner, comment on this video or send us a message on Facebook if you're listening on audio, or YouTube or Instagram or wherever. Let us know. What do you think about the E-Ray?
One last question. Do we have numbers of how many are being produced?
No.
No. This is just like the press release. Here's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we see a ton of them around town, we have to ask people, is it actually worth it?
I will.
Because the opinion of the Corvette owner club or whatever Facebook group there is of the Corvette owners, that will matter a lot for what happens to the C9.
That will matter a ton.
Yes. So that is the experiment that they're running. Interesting that this is how they did it. I actually think it's a solid way to do it, considering the other option was just go all in. Now, the next question becomes, your beloved brand over there, Mr. Germany, will we get a hybrid 911 before we get an all-EV 911?
They're already working on it, yes.
Ah.
But they actually designed the 992 for room for a battery just like they did the C8, and I hate it so much.
I see. They're all copying each other. Okay. Interesting.
I don't like this round table of manufacturers electrifying things.
It's coming. Nothing you can do about it.
I'm moving to Montana.
That's fine.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to a car that is being reborn, that is just getting a facelift that needs more than it's got. But we're going to talk about that because it's the new Nissan GTR.
Oh.
Yes, we haven't had a GTR for a little while here.
No, we have not.
Apparently, we got a new 2024 Nissan GTR. They unveiled it at the Tokyo Auto Salon. They haven't changed a whole lot.
It looks very, very similar.
Wow.
Huh.
I think that's the Nismo spec. Go to a picture of like the regular spec. Is there a picture that...
I don't know.
That.
Oh, yep.
That's the right... That looks awful.
That looks very... Did they change anything?
Yes, minorly.
Okay.
Like if you go to the gallery, I'm sure further in the gallery, there's probably some regular ones. There's got to be.
Tell me more about it as we scroll through these.
Before I tell you more, how long has the current Nissan GTR been around for? Do you know?
A long time. A very long time now that I think about it.
It would be getting its driver's license.
Oh, no. It's been
It's a
that long?
16-year-old car.
I was going to guess 10. No, you're right.
The Nissan GTR is a 16-year-old car. This R35 GTR is a 16-year-old car.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And this is all they've done to it.
Did they take these photos in Gran Turismo? It really looks like they did.
It does look like it, doesn't it?
I think these are renders. I don't know that these are real photos of this car.
Well, it's unveiled at the auto salon, so I don't know. That's what all the press releases and everything are.
I'm sure it's somewhere on the show floor, but these look like rendered. Okay.
They do look like renders, but yeah. Okay, so they're bringing back the T-Spec. Great. They're getting Millennium Jade and Midnight Purple, which they did on like their send-off of the old GTR.
Is Midnight Purple the...
Yes.
Okay.
Like that chameleon purpley color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Love the look of it. You get a 600 horsepower Nismo version. Great. That's wonderful. It gets a new rear wing. That's not the Nismo. That's the regular. They both get a new rear wing. Apparently, with the new rear wing, you get a 10% more wingage with some more carbon appearance with the Nismo. You get now here's the cool part. You do get a front limited slip diff.
Oh. Okay.
Let's see. Apparently, the premium and T-Spec have pretty much the exact same powertrain as what's in the current one, or old one, I should say, which gives you a twin-turbo 3.8-liter V6 that develops 565 horsepower and 467 pound-feet of torque. Okay. They didn't really do a whole lot there.
No. If I recall, the powertrain in this is like crazily over-engineered, but doesn't make what you would expect the power from a crazy over-engineered powertrain to make.
It should make like 800 horsepower.
Yeah, it should be like in the thousands, but it's making like half that.
Yeah. The Nismo gets the 600 horsepower and 487 torques. Why? My question is why?
I also have the same question. Why? What? This was a facelift and just a body kit, basically?
It looks like they changed 2% of the car.
Yeah, not much at all. The fog lights are definitely different.
Fog lights are different. There's like a little more swoopiness to the grille.
Right. And
It's got nicer wheels.
that's about it.
And the wing is a little different.
It's very slightly different, but yes, a little different. Huh. And this is the 2024 GTR.
This is the new facelifted GTR.
But this is still going to be an R35.
I think that hasn't been very well confirmed. I've seen some rumors that this is now an R36. I've seen some rumors that this is just a facelifted R35. I don't know yet.
They can't R36 this.
Please don't make this an R36 because there's nothing different about it.
Nope. Don't do that.
Sure, there is something different. The front limited slip diff, that is different. That is good. Props to you. But the rest of it,
Don't increment the number. It's not a major version change in software.
No.
Don't increment the number.
No, it's not. Call it the R35.2.
This is what we call in software a patch.
This
It's
is
a
a patch.
minor version number.
Yeah,
not
this
the
is
major
a patch.
version number.
So there's no official word on price yet, but based upon the previous price. So the previous price of like the regular GTR was 115 grand in change. The Nismo was 212 grand in change. Can you believe that?
212.
$212,000 for a GTR.
That I'm pretty sure that's Gran Turismo. I'm pretty sure.
It looks like it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Either way, could you actually imagine spending almost $250,000 for a GTR?
Nope. Not at all.
Thought experiment. You have $250,000. What do you buy?
10 BRZs.
Fair. Do you buy one GTR Nismo?
No, you could legitimately buy 10 BRZs.
You could, yes.
I-
Or 20 Miatas.
I could think of many other things to buy. There's no way this is on my list.
I'd buy a 911 GT3.
Yeah.
I'd buy a used McLaren 570. I'd buy a Z06.
An R32, one of these.
You could buy 2 or 3 R32s.
Yeah.
I'd buy anything, frankly. I would import an R34 because now they're importable because they're within the certain year limit.
That'd be much better.
I'd buy literally anything but a $200 and some odd thousand GTR.
There is a big cult out there for these cars.
But for $200,000+ versions of these cars?
People got money to spend. Let's be real.
You're
People
right.
will buy anything. If they're buying $10 million Koenigseggs, they'll buy a $250,000 Nissan GTR. The normal people that don't have money to blow on tax write-offs, no. Nobody's touching this.
I think a used GTR is one of the best buys.
Yes.
Because they depreciate like a helicopter that's lost power. They just fall.
Until the mechanical bits go goodbye.
Well, yes. But like a GTR, you can buy a used GTR for like 70 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can buy a new one for over $200,000.
I don't know who's buying these new. But they like to throw money away.
It sure seems like it.
Huh.
So just the general question is, did they do enough to it?
No.
That's the consensus.
Absolutely not. What should they have done? What will give you a $200,000 GTR?
785 horsepower.
Okay. And new body kit and actually increment the number?
Yes. Not just some fancy fog lights and a new wing.
I agree. This is a weird one.
Yeah,
I don't know what Nissan was doing here. You know what they didn't do is turn it into a half electric, half internal combustion engine kind of weird thing.
You've got a point.
They haven't done that yet. So props to them for that.
Just so long as they don't do a Nismo Skyline GTR Leaf Juke Nismo thing. Ultima.
This is going off the rails.
Oh, no. That would be bad. All right. So that's all the news I got. You got anything?
I do not.
All right, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please do leave us a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Don't forget to drop a comment on the video. Let us know what you think about the new E-Ray, the new Corvette E-Ray. If you're listening on audio, send us a message on social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io, where you can go to catch some of your favorite past races. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.